When we lose a parent, it's natural to step back and take stock of our own lives.
It happened to Jeff Davis at an especially emotional time as he was returning to Maine after settling his father's estate and thinking about how much his dad had loved fly fishing. As 207's Peggy Kaiser reports, what happened on that trip changed the course of Davis's life.
On my way back cross country with a trailer in tow and his fly gear right in the front seat so I could play with it on the way home, a light bulb went off. And it was just something I couldn't get out of my head. Fly fishing. It's all I wanted to do. It was a really deep-rooted connection that I found with him, oddly, after his passing.
In the months that followed his father's death, Jeff Davis couldn't push away the strong desire to find healing in the outdoors, to stand in a river and cast a line.
It was an indirect passion that was shared with me because he'd always talk about the salmon and fly fishing, but never really took me out. We didn't really do it together, so I started building rods. It became an outlet.
And over time, that outlet became a business.
Starting Maine Fly Company was probably one of the scariest things I'd ever done. It was a tremendous leap of faith. It was a tremendous gamble, but for the first time in my life, one that I just knew I needed to take.
He had just become a father to twin boys, which only added to his determination.
It was, how do I want to raise these boys? Dad coming home late, leaving early with a briefcase, or Dad living a dream and inspiring these boys to do the same? That was very important to me.
In the corporate world, Jeff would help companies operate more efficiently. It involved curiosity and problem solving. He applied those skills to building fly rods, taking them apart, figuring out how to build a better rod.
We do all these by hand.
Maine Fly Company produces several small batches of fly rods each year. A batch can be anywhere from 50 to several hundred rods.
I was really inspired by the breweries, the crafting. And the idea was that we were not interested in replicating mass production. We don't want to make 10,000 of anything.
Jeff sees his company as a tribute to the resurgence of craftsmanship in Maine.
I've always been, so respectful of the furniture makers and all these folks, but even better, the old bamboo guys, that were making the bamboo. And it is an expiring generation. This is where we, take the guides themselves, where your fly line's going to run through along the pole, and tie them on.
They design and build all of the rods here, an old brick mill in Yarmouth, overlooking the Royal River. Each batch of rods bears the name of one of the hundreds of waterways in Maine, like the McGalloway or the Roach River. Fly fishermen and women know different conditions require different rods. The weight, the feel, even the look of the rod, those qualities matter.
This is your real seat, and when we talk about incorporating materials from people's lives for dedicated rods and these things, this is often where you'll see a lot of great personality in this section of the rod.
Leanne Conway builds rods for Maine Fly.
This is where the magic happens.
This is detailed work. She applies epoxy to the rod guides, then allows the rods to rotate for 8 hours while they dry. She met Jeff on a fishing trip and apprenticed here to learn how to build rods.
Are there tons of women your age building fly rods?
I haven't met one yet, but I'd love to.
When she learned the intricacies of building rods, she was hooked.
Once I was able to make my own fly, make my own fly rod, it doesn't get better than that.
Fly fishing can take you to some of the most beautiful parts of our state. For Jeff Davis, the sport helped him to heal.
My thing is, first, fall in love with standing in the middle of a river, because that in itself is the passion. When you love the idea of hearing that sound just running through your knees while you're disconnected from technology and just living in a postcard, the idea of the fish is the bonus.
Jeff says he feels as though his business is one of the silver linings of the pandemic. The last few years have kept people closer to home and wanting to find ways to be outdoors. We've got a link to the Maine Fly Company website in the 207 section of our News Center Maine website and app.